social justice. I hope you all remember yesterday I gave you the detailed picture of social justice. What is social justice, about its definition, about its meaning, right? So I told you about that. So then we went further, right? We went further and I told you about the three principles. Okay, you remember three principles, that is three principle of justice we talked about, and it was equal treatment for all. And we talked about the proportionate justice, where I told you about that handicap and physically challenged are some people who with a special, that was recognition of special needs, where people with special needs should be recognized and be given should be given reservation, at least to raise their standards. And when we talked about proportionate justice, we talked about the ST and OBCs and all, the people who were left behind due to are exploited, or anyway they were the ones who were having in a low caste, they were the people belonging to the low caste, or there were gender bias a long time back. So these people were taken care of, right? Somebody's please mute yourself, everybody. Mute yourself, everybody. Okay, good. So then we talked about when we reach to the justice, right? Which type of injustices we people face in the society, right? And we divided these injustices into four forms, four forms. And under these four forms, I told you about the political justice, about the legal injustice, about the social injustice, and economic injustice, right? Till here we had talked yesterday. Now the time arises when we say that in which ways can justice be secured. We talked about injustices prevailing in the society, right? So these were injustices prevailing in the society. Now the thing comes how these injustices can be curbed, can be, I mean, just how justice can be secured in a society. So here we go. So here we talk about the ways of securing legal justice. Ways of securing legal justice. It says that justice is quite closely related to law, right? So a country's law should be just. A country's law should be fair. It should be equal to all, right? Justice basically is a kind of, you can say, synonym to law, right? It's a synonym to law. So what is it? That law should be equal for all. The state should try to maintain legal justice in society by implementing laws. So the society which is lawless, society which does not have rules and regulations, society are the leaders who does not follow the rule of law. So you can imagine that society, it is obvious that injustice will be prevailing in that society where laws are not taken care of, our laws are not implemented. Okay, okay. So first is, it says if laws are there, first there should be laws. That was a thing we talked about. Next it says laws should be just. If laws are made, if laws are implemented, if laws are executed, the laws should be just. Now, laws should be just means what? Laws should be equal for all, right? Laws should be equal for all the people of the society, right? First point. Second thing, it says that law should be based for public welfare. Law should not be made for the ruler. It should be made equally for the ruler and the ruled one, the king and the subject, the person in power and the person without power, right? The prime minister, the president, the ministries, or the common man. The law should be equally imposed on them, equally implemented. And the main criteria or main aim of the law, implementation of law, should be public welfare, for the welfare of people and not for punishing of people. Okay. And then it says law should be made only by popularly elected people, representative, because in the arbitrary rule where there is dictatorship, where there is a martial law, where the head of the army rules the whole nation, right? Where such kind of situation is there, in such kind of situation, what happens? There is no law, dictator, that is arbitrary rule. It is called authoritarian rule, where the head of the country is a boss, is a ruler who does not believe in any rule of law. His word is law. So in that kind of a society, there is no law. But when they say that, when these laws are made, these laws should be made through the elected representative of the people. So now people in the parliament, when they make law, they are our representatives. So when they are our representatives, so that means they are speaking our mind, our likes and our dislikes. Because if they are not representing our likes and dislikes, it is obvious the next time we will not vote for him. So it should always be made by the representative of the people, that is legally elected people, right? Then, to be just, law should be based on the prevalent values and customs of the society. Now at times what happen, laws become dormant. Like our country got independence in 1947, and now it is 2020. See how many years passed. The society has changed, right? Society has come a long way. It has changed. The thought process have changed. The science and technology has brought a lot of change. It's suppose the prevalent, that is in 90, before 1947 also we were having monarchs, we were having kings. Their laws were different. Is suppose our laws prevailing in our society are still the old and traditional one, rigid, right? Without any flexibility. They are not changing with the changing time. It will lose its value. It will become unjust. So, what do they say? They say that our laws, the present laws, should be based on the prevalent values, the present value, the values which are prevailing in the society at present, prevalent values and customs of the society, right? It should be prevalent with the prevalent values and customs of the society. Otherwise, it becomes dormant, it becomes vague, it becomes useless for that particular society, right? So justice should be done according to the law, and law should be changed, law should be amended according to the prevalent value, prevalent needs, prevalent laws and the customs of the society. It should be taken into consideration, right? Next, it says justice should be according to law, right? Justice should be according to law. Means again, I'm telling you, justice deals with the process of law. Justice cannot be done without law. How can we keep on telling people that go according to your moral values, follow the values? Because moral values, because we are human, to err is human. At times we shun off the moral values. We will not say ki, do like that, so that God is watching you. Fear of God can always not overpower a person if he's going wrong. There can be injustices in the society, injustices prevailing in the society. It can be wrongdoings in the, there can be wrongdoers in the society. There can be wrongdoings in the society. There can be society which can be unjust, where the people who have a special need are not taken care of. People who are very poor without any property are not taken care of. People can be gender bias. People can exploit the women. People can give less privileges to the women, put a lot of restrictions on women. So when these things are there, when these things are prevailing in the society, it is not a just society. So how does justice come? Justice should be done according to law. Now try to understand. Let it be a president, let it be a prime minister, let it be anybody, let it be anybody. If anything wrong is done anywhere, he can be pulled to the court by a common man. Even a president or a prime minister can be pulled to the court, can be brought to the books. Do you understand this? So they say if you want to create a socially just society, the society should work according to the law. Society should work according to the law. Okay. Next it says ways of securing economic justice. Now, economic, again, I'm telling you, economic is related to money. Economic is related to money. So, how can it should be seen to it that economically fair, the society should be fair. People should be able to earn their livelihood according to their caliber, according to their uh, capability. They should be given equal freedom to explore the opportunity to go for the to earn their livelihood. So they say that this thing is from if Kautilya's Arthashastra. Next year you will be studying the first lesson about Kautilya's Arthashastra, that is historical background during our monarchical time when the written law first time came into being. Because the people, the kings used to just believe in the divine right theory. They used to feel that they are the messengers of God, and so whatever they speak, whatever their word was law. Their word was law. They were not governed by any kinds of counselors or you can say a council of ministers, or you can say any legislature or executive or judiciary. Everything was the king, the monarch, right? So when Chandragupta Maurya, during the Chandragupta Maurya's period, Kautilya was his prime minister, right? He was his teacher, he was his prime minister, he was everything to Chandragupta Maurya. So I will not indulge into that story. We know about it. Next year we'll touch that up in detail. So Kautilya, he wrote a big uh, book called Arthashastra. Arthashastra became so famous. That means the king, there were rules that how what king should, the rules according to which a king should follow his kingship, how he's supposed to behave, how what his life should be, how his behavior towards his subject should be, and how the subject should respect the king, what are the laws they should follow, what are the punishments for these. I mean, that was a full constitution made by a single man called Kautilya. So they say that it was during that period a just society came into being. A society following rule of law came into being, right? So now here he talks about the ways of securing economic justice. They mention here Kautilya. He says he has written that the state should fulfill its economic obligations in such a manner that the least advantaged, the poorest of the poor, least advantaged sections of the society are able to fulfill their needs. So, what is written in Arthashastra? This is the just society. When the most poorest of the poor, when the least advantaged person is also able to fulfill his need and live a dignified life by getting the basic needs, that is, food, shelter, and clothing, right? The Marxist Karl Marx had also given prominence to economic justice. There should be equality in the society on the basis of money, on the basis of the earning, on the basis of economic opportunities, on the basis of economic livelihood. So even they say that a just society has a proportionate, then economic justice because basically demands proportionate distribution of wealth and resources. Again, the word proportionate, remember that the word proportionate means it also requires that everyone is able to secure a basic minimum living and earn a decent wage. Proportionate, equal thing to equal strata of the society, equal to men and women, equal to rich and poor, equal to underprivileged and privileged one. There should not be basically a privileged class. There should not be a privileged class. So the underprivileged one, who are under BPL, the one who are not able to earn 3 square meal a day, they are called underprivileged. So they should be brought into the mainstream. They should be brought into mainstream. So here it says that the society should be they should be seeing that the wealth and resources of a country should be equally distributed in a proportionate manner. Yesterday also we touched that proportionate manner. The people with the special needs should be taken care of. Classes which were underprivileged are exploited long back, they have to be brought into mainstream, so they should be taken care of. That's why it's written as proportionate distribution of wealth and resources, equal distribution. Remember that I showed you two jars where handful of people are there swimming in a big jar with lot of, means they are making use of the maximum resources of a country, right? The maximum resources of the country are in their possession, whereas huge amount of people are satisfied at keeping themselves occupied, are satisfied with the least number of resources. Okay, so economically means the resources should be equally distributed. Now here they are given 4 points which says that basic minimum needs of all people should be satisfied. Basic, right? Everybody in a country, it should be seen that they earn the basic rights. They should be, that is food, shelter and clothing. The basic needs of every person should be satisfied. Nobody should be able to exploit other, right? And they should be able to earn their basic needs, right? The second one, it says some limitation should be placed on inherited property so that it does not increase the gap between rich and poor. So inherited property means the princely states, as we talked about the princes, the nobles during those times, the inherited property has to have more of the taxes. As you grow richer, you have to pay more taxes so that there should be a reduced gap between rich and poor. Third one, it says people should be given equal pay for equal work. Yes, in similar circumstances. It is not that why a labor is not getting as a manager. His work is labor is also doing lot of work. Manager is also doing lot of work. So why there is inequality? So they say that the equal work, it seems that it's not comparing a labor with manager here, but he's comparing all the labors. He says a labor in one town or labor in the other town gets a equal wage. The manager in one place, in a one company, in one circumstances, everybody gets a equal salary. So it says that one rank, one pay. If you are at a one rank, you get everybody. It is no privilege given, a special privilege given to anybody there, right? So people should be given equal pay for equal work. People should be given an adequate opportunity to earn, right? There should be an adequate equal opportunity to everybody. State should not have absolute control over economic equality, right? There should be liberty to earn their own livelihood, to make use of the opportunity prevalent in the society. So state should not have an absolute control whether we want to join a private sector, a public sector, or whether there are certain rules and regulations. If I'm an industrialist, what I'm giving to my what I'm giving it to my worker should be under the rule and the laws. It is not my wish, it has to come under the rules and the laws, because auditing is done, income tax is done, sales tax is done. So everything is transparent and clear in the society. So it has to be such to make a economically equal society. It should not be that a person is signing on something else and given something else. A labor is given 1,000 rupees, and whereas he's signing on 2,000. So there should be clear, because it is illegal and many people do that, many people do that in small places. They exploit the people in such a manner. They're saying that you get your salary, why are you bothered about it if you're signing on 5,000 or 2,000? So they do like that. There people are get illiterate people, are people doing work at as a laborers or anywhere. They are exploited still. in many places people are exploited. So it should be seen that people get equal adequate opportunity to earn according to their capacity and develop their personality, and state should not have absolute control. Right. Now, ways to secure political justice. How political justice can be secured? That means that democratic institution should be constituted to establish political justice, where people themselves elect their own representatives, and these representatives participate in making of law. So that is the first thing. All right. The second thing is, in our constitution, political equality is it's mentioned, and it is the first and the foremost thing mentioned there, that everybody, irrespective of caste, color, creed, gender, they are equal in the eyes of law. Right. So the basic thing what they say, that political justice can be achieved only when everybody is given a right to vote. The first point is adult franchise, universal adult franchise. When everybody, irrespective of anything, just crossing the age of 18, and he's a sane person, he can vote, he can participate in the lawmaking body. He can elect the people, or he can himself stand in the elections. Right. And the second point, it says, for establishment of political justice, it is imperative for people to be provided the freedom of speech and expression. Yes. So freedom of speech and expression should be there, so that they can raise their voice against the injustices or inequality or anything of the in politics, against the government also. Right. So they should have freedom of speech and justice. And next it says people should have freedom to form groups, NGOs, trade unions, voluntary organizations, interest groups, pressure groups. They should be allowed to form these groups, so that if they want to bring uh, something to the notice of a government, right, something to they want the people to get aware of certain loopholes or certain drawbacks of the government, these people should be able to do that in a group. So trade unions and all these unions should be allowed to be formed. Right. Then the last one, it says way of establishing social justice. How social justice can be established? It means, that social justice means everybody should be, they should not be discriminated on the basis of caste, color, creed, religion, place of birth, gender, sex, etc. Right. And this is must for establishing a socially just society. Right. So there should be no discrimination on the basis of caste and color. In India, as we had casteism, we had untouchability. Like in South Africa, there was apartheid movement, right? Apartheid policies, where the white were discriminated against the black were denied the citizenship, and they had to suffer a lot. So such kind of things has to be totally eradicated, totally wiped out from a society, if you want justice in your society. And next it says state should define its limits to interfere in individual freedom. Right. The state should not, everywhere and every time, state should not be able to interfere in the personal and the privacy of a individual. They should be socially, they too should have freedom. There should be limitations in restrictions. There should be, laws should be limited, so people should have enough freedom to live a free life, to experience freedom. Right. And there should be no discrimination at public places like parks, restaurants, schools, cinema, shops, etc., on the basis of caste, color, creed, religion, gender, or this. So, all the 4 points should be clear. And next time, tomorrow, I will take up free market. So, you have to understand all the 4 points, make notes nicely. And if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Do you have any doubts here now? Any doubts, Vita? No answer at all.
No, ma'am, we
No,
don't have
ma'am.
Yes,
doubt.
Vita. Yes, Vita. Because it was an easy